Now it is time to take a look at a premium platoon that I was interested in for a very long time, and this is the ST-A3 platoon, and this is the ST-A3 medium tank. Now this vehicle is very interesting. It has a autoloader and it has a lot of penetration. Now the main gun is a 90mm. Top speed is 45 km/h, reverse is 8 km/h. It is obviously not the fastest, but it's more than enough. It has 35 tons for crew members, average penetration 192mm, reload 6 seconds. The frontal protection is decent, but the overall armor of the tank isn't that good, so maneuverability and stealth is definitely the way to go with the ST-A3. And on top of that, as already mentioned, this is a autoloader, so the firepower will be very good. You also do have a lot of machine guns. This tank does play very similar to the ST-A1 and very similar to the Leopard. You can technically meet a Leopard with the ST-A3, since this is a tier 5 vehicle. You can fight tier 6 vehicles with this premium platoon, but it's not a big deal since you do have very good ammo on the ST-A3. So let's go and play some battles. Now you can pick HE ATFS or explosive APC BC. Honestly, I do use both ammo types. In this case, on this tank, I do use HE ATFS, depending on the target, of course. You also do have APHE smoke shells, but this is basically what I am using on the ST-A3. Been pretty happy with the HEATFS performance. Definitely does penetrate, does get the job done. And APC BC is definitely, I would say, what the players would prefer the most on the ST-A3. I mean, armor piercing shells definitely work in most cases. Definitely work better than heat shells or HEATFS shells. I'm personally a fan of the AP shells, but at the same time I do use the HEATFS on some vehicles, on some occasions. And the ST-A3 is one such vehicle where I think you do have like 330mm penetration with this shell, which is actually quite a lot. You can penetrate a T-95 from the front with this shell, and that is really good. That is really good with the ST-A3. Now, I mentioned that the armor on the tank isn't the best, which is true, but the survivability of the crew is actually not that bad. It gets the job done. It does have around the same build as the ST-A1. You have the transmission at the front, which can eat shells, but if you do get hit slightly above the transmission, the tank can explode. So stealth and maneuverability is definitely the most important things if you want to basically live long enough on the battlefield. Now speed. Speed on this vehicle isn't actually that bad, but at the same time I would also say that the speed of the tank isn't the best. 45-50 km/h is basically the maximum top speed. Reverse about 8 to 9 km/h, which is more than enough, honestly. Really, it's more than enough to move back to cover. It is definitely not as fast in reverse as some of the other tanks, but it is definitely more than enough to get the job done with the ST-A3. The main thing about the ST-A3 is definitely the autoloader, which is, as I already mentioned before, really good. And the reload is fantastic, as expected from that type of vehicles. And how did I survive that? I don't know, but that IS-1 just ghost shelled through my tank, which is kind of funny. HETFS does have ultimate penetration, but the normal AP shell also is more than enough. And I would say the normal AP, explosive AP CBC is definitely the most used shell that you will have on this vehicle. HEATFS is good when you're facing higher tier vehicles like Yak Tigers, T95s, you know, things like that. Vehicles that you will have trouble to penetrate with the normal shell, you have the HEATFS to go through their armor. I actually imagined this vehicle to be a little bit faster. I imagined that this would play like the Leopard, but I was wrong. I mean, you technically can play this as Leopard, it's just a little bit slower, and the speed or the lack of speed is actually not a big deal, not a big deal breaker. And most importantly, you can penetrate every single tank there is. HEATFS for a cancer is a little bit overkill, to be honest, but I can shoot at the thickest part and just go through the armor like no big deal. Honestly, I really do like this tank. It is playing very nicely. It is playing very nicely. It doesn't have stabilization, of course. Would be weird if a tier 5 vehicle would have stabilization, but at the same time we have the T1E1, which does have stabilization at tier 2, so yeah, if this vehicle had stabilization, it would definitely be interesting, but unfortunately we don't have that on the ST-A3. Nonetheless, it doesn't really need stabilization, it will still get the job done without a problem in performance.
The enemy has captured most of the strategic zones.
I'm actually very glad that I bought this platoon. I've heard that it was really good. And it has some very interesting vehicles. The ST-A3 is basically one such vehicle that I was interested in. There is 2 other vehicles within the platoon that you will see very soon in action. Every single vehicle will have a video for them prepared. Oh look, a Tiger. Let's see, they definitely did not see me around. Killed the turret crew and someone else got the kill, that's fine. I shot the Tiger with HEATFS in the back of the turret. It was more than enough to basically delete all the crew in the turret. The shell does do damage. After all, it is a 90mm shell. They are usually really solid, really good. They usually perform really well. And this is actually not the lowest tier HEATFS we can find. You can actually get HEATFS on the tier 4 premium platoon that we used to get a couple updates ago. The R3 platoon does have the M36B1, which does have HEATFS at tier 4, which is absolutely insane. But let me tell you that tank is really fun. That vehicle is insanely fun. Now I'll go towards zone A to capture it, since it looks like the enemy team is capturing it. So this is basically how you can play the vehicle. You can move around, capture zones, shoot tanks. It is a medium tank after all. Not the fastest medium tank, but it is still a medium tank. That's, you know, what matters in the end. And I do like to drive medium tanks a lot, so this little thing is definitely quite suitable for me. It is definitely on the slower side when it comes to medium tanks, but I don't mind. There we go. The Tiger got the ammo blown up, and now I can slowly capture the zone, although I think we are going to win the match before I can finish capturing. But honestly, that is fine. That was definitely a good match. Was able to run around and shoot stuff. Definitely a nice little start. A very playable medium tank. A very playable medium tank. Okay, let's go to the next match. Okay, now depending on where you want to go, this vehicle can be used for sniping, can be used for flanking. You can use the same tactics that you usually do with every other medium tank that you have, or every other light tank or heavy tank. It can do the role really well in all scenarios. And that was a very quick first kill. A SU-152 has a good hit. The gun is very accurate though. The gun is very accurate and I love the reload of this thing. Tiger, well, I used the wrong ammo. I should have used HE-ATFS for that. Need to probably swap to HE-ATFS. I'll try one more time. If I manage to hit the weak spots. Nope, okay. Time for HE-ATFS, but first let me go into the bomber. So every time you can penetrate something, just use HE-ATFS on the ST-A3. It has more than enough penetration to just punch through the armor like a hot knife through butter. Now I have been practicing with some of my new controls. We'll have a aviation video coming up very soon. With the new controls and stuff. They added controls for aircraft. Air mode is actually very close. That's a SU-152 hit in the back. But someone else got the kill. Tiger. There we go. HE-ATFS and the Tiger is destroyed. That's that was what I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about earlier. Just load HE-ATFS and shoot anywhere. And it usually penetrates. Might not do as much damage as AP shells, that's true, but usually does more than enough. Usually, that's the case. Okay, we have a T-34, I missed. Shot the track. Next we have... Okay, there's a Panther. VK-3002. As you can see, no problem to penetrate any vehicle. Let me kill the T-34 first. There we go. And the next will be the VK-3002. Or not. Well, they have fall back, I don't see. Yeah, they fall back for sure. You also have machine guns that tend to do quite a bit of damage. Very good for destroying tracks or very good against lightly armored vehicles. Well, someone destroyed the VK, okay, that's fine. Maybe I should have shot the VK first and then the T-34, since the T-34 was kind of immobilized, but that's fine. I also love how the shell went straight through the whole tank and went right in the engine. That has a lot of penetration. Might not get my bombs on target since I am being chased. Although this bomber took a lot of damage. That's something I have to say. Well, famous last words. Oh well. Let's see if there is something else in front of me. Seems there isn't. Okay, might be time to move forward actually. Might be time to move forward. Now where can I go? I could go over there. Actually, yeah, I'll try to capture B and then progress towards C. Oh look, we have some tanks over here. I guess I will be making a little U-turn right here and maybe do some ninja action, right? Or maybe not. Yeah, that tank was destroyed. Well, seems to be clear. I'll go straight towards C and I'll try to capture C. There is a IS in the I hit the IS in the turret. And the team got a kill. Okay. Well, let me capture the zone. Looks like it's going to be a victory. And there is something approaching. Probably going to try to rush the base here. So I will try and hold position right here. I think there they are, ST-A3. Now they can't penetrate my armor. Well, they could. Not anymore since I killed the gunner. And this is the moment where actually having like high explosive would be in handy. Since somehow this SPA is still alive, even though I hit it like 50 times, but one high explosive shell and this tank would have been destroyed. And that was a victory. That was a nice little match. So with that being said, that was the ST-A3. Definitely a very fun little tank. Definitely a very good premium tank as well. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.